Welcome students, this is your computer teacher and today we are going to start a new chapter which is Introduction to HTML5. In this chapter we are going to learn about a web-based programming language which is very basic. So without wasting much of your time, let's see what we are going to learn today. First of all, we'll know what actually HTML is. Then what are the tools or software components which are needed. Third one is the types of HTML editors. And the fourth one will learn how to create, save and view an HTML file. So without wasting much of your time, let's get straight to it. As I told you, HTML is the most basic web-based programming language used to design web pages for websites. As you all know, a website is a collection of web pages. So, to create these websites and web pages, the most basic language, web-based programming language, is HTML. Now, it stands for Hypertext Markup Language, where hypertext means to link various documents and pages on the internet or using any network protocols. And markup language is a language which contains some symbols and some commands which are actually known as tags. Why they are known as symbols or a markup language? Reason is because these tags can identify the section of an HTML program. You will get to it when I'll explain practically what I'm trying to say right now. So now we will learn about what are the tools that are required to run an HTML web page. First of all, we have to create it. There's no alternative to it. But how can we create it? We can create a web page using HTML editor. And similarly, to run that created web page, we need a web browser. We all open websites on web browsers. Examples: Chrome, Safari, Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, etc. So moving on to the next part, that is, what are the types of HTML editors? Now the first one is, what you see is what you get. I think you're familiar with this phrase. The type of editor in which whatever we code, whatever the code or the commands that we are writing, it simultaneously shows you what your website or a web page will look like in a web browser. And the other one is text editor, just like Notepad. But the catch is that in the text editor, you cannot simultaneously see how your page will look like. You will have to actually run that web page in a web browser to see how your page will look like. So now I'll show you how you can create a basic web page using HTML, and we will learn how to save it and view it in a web browser. So let's go. So as I told you, to create a web page, you need a text editor, a basic text editor just like Notepad, which is present in everyone's laptop or a computer. Now how you open it? Just click on Start, Programs and Notepad, or simply what I will do is I'll click on Start and type Notepad. And as I find the app in the list, I'll click on it to open it. Or there is another method. Let me show you once again. You'll press Windows key from the keyboard and keep it pressing, and then press R key, which will invoke the Run dialog box, and simply write Notepad in it and press OK. And you see your Notepad will open. I'll click on this maximize button to make it full screen. Now in this Notepad, this is a text editor. Now in this text editor, which is Notepad, we will type commands. We will learn about commands later, but let me just add it for you for the first instance so that you know how to create a program, how to save it, and how we can view it. And this includes some very important steps. Step number 1, we will type the code in tags. And let me tell you that HTML is not a case sensitive language, which means if I write or type HTML in lowercase means the same to if I write HTML or type HTML in a capital case or an uppercase, or even if it's a toggle one like this, it doesn't matter. It means the same to the web browser. Now I have skipped to the ending part of the program where I have finished coding the first program for you. You definitely will learn these tags and commands, and after the completion of this chapter you will be able to create your own web pages in Notepad. But for the context of this video and to show you how to save a file, which is a very important step in this coding, so I have typed the code for you. Now when you finish type coding, we'll go to this file menu. Let me show you here. File menu and click on save option. When I click on save option, I'll have my save as dialog box appear up on the screen. Now I'll select the desired location from here. Let's say I want to add it in music. Let us suppose I'll click music, and then the most important part is I'll select save as type as all files, and then I'll type the file name whatever I want. Let me suppose write first file. But now the key step is to mention the extension of an HTML file. The extension of an HTML file is .html or simple .htm. You can either write .htm or HTML, doesn't matter. Even if it is in lowercase or uppercase, doesn't matter. And we will click on save. You can clearly see at the title bar, let me show you by zooming in, the file name has changed. So how to run it? Now we will go to the desired location. I'll minimize this and open my computer. You can simply click on my PC and then go to the location where you have saved it. So I have saved it here in music, and I'll double click on this first file. Now here we see the page that we have created in Notepad using HTML is opened up in a web browser as a web page. Now you can clearly see the address bar showing the location of this file in music folder, first file.html, which I created. Now if I show you simultaneously both the coding as well as this window, now looking at both of them side by side, you can clearly see the web page does not displays the command which are written in these angular brackets. This title goes at the very top of the screen, just here. And whatever we have written here, heading 1, this is heading 2, this is heading 3, this is heading 4, this is heading 5. Later on, further in the videos of this series, we will learn what these tags mean and how we can use them in a web page. Well, this is it for today's video, and I hope you all get to know about the very basic part of HTML programming. And until the next time, stay safe, stay home, stay healthy. Thank you.